What's up guys, it's Lappy. Welcome back to another video. Today is another discussion video. I just felt like making another one. You know, I made a discussion video last time. I made a video on the state of the meta and what I thought and what the community's thoughts were and what my thoughts on the community's thoughts were, and I actually did pretty good. So thank you guys for watching that video, first of all. This video is going to be a little different. I'm not really going to be talking about anything specifically with the game at the moment, like the state of the game. I just want to talk about something that it hasn't been brought up yet, but I know it will eventually, because this is always a debate that happens in the community every now and then. And that is about content creation, okay? There's always so many debates that happen in the Splatoon community, like constantly, that you always see every now and then. The first one is, you know, the obvious, the state of the game, you know, the meta, the whatever, you know. I made a video about that last time. I'm not going to talk too much more about it. The next one is plus server debates and, you know, if it's gatekeeping or not, right? I actually also made a video on that, I think, a long time ago, back when the last time it happened. And then another one that I see every now and then, not as often as the other two, is the debate about how there needs to be more content creators and more people streaming their gameplay at top level and stuff like that. Which, now that I think about it, is also something I've talked about before. Man, I've talked about a lot more than I thought, I guess. But I want to talk a little bit more about it, because there's one thing that always happens in the content creator slash, you know, content, there needs to be more top-level players streaming or making videos or something like that debate, right? Well, actually, there's a few things I hate, but I made a post about it on my Blue Sky, and I'm just going to show you guys the post. Low-key, I hate people that say making YouTube stuff is just easy. The videos they're making take very little effort compared to some others, and it still takes time out of your day that could be spent doing literally anything else. Not surprised at all that most comp players don't do this. There's a little bit more to it than that, but I'm going to go over basically everything I mean in the video, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. So what do I mean by that, right? Every now and then, there's always this debate that comes up that more people should be making content for Splatoon, because it's a way to help the scene grow. And I completely agree with that. I think content is one of the biggest ways to help keep a scene thriving, right? There is entire games that I think have only lasted as long as they have because of the community making videos and streams and stuff like that, right? Honestly, a game that I play a lot, Geometry Dash, that's a game that I think has a lot of content creators in it, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I like coming back to it, because there's just so many fun personalities in that scene. Another great example would be speedrunning. I mean, there's so many games in speedrunning that literally nobody would care about if it wasn't for, you know, people making cool videos about them. Like, I got into Mario 64 from watching, like, Mario 64 speedrunning races. Like, that's something I would have never done if it wasn't for someone making a video on it, right? So I think content is an amazing way to grow a scene. And if you want to make videos and you want to upload and stream and whatever, you should do it. It's fun. If you think you'd be interested in it, you should always give it a try. It's usually not too hard to get into as long as you have a capture card. You know, you can make whatever, right? But, okay, but people take this a little too far, okay? I think people take this debate a little too far and a little too seriously, because then when people start saying, yes, people should make videos, there is this, like, mindset that, first of all, that making stuff is really easy. And then, on top of that, there's the people that are like, oh, well, if you're just not doing that, then I don't know what you're doing, right? You should be making videos. I mean, all you have to do is literally hit stream and upload your VODs, so why aren't, you know, top-level players or high-level players just making videos? I mean, it's just that easy. And as someone who loves to see more people making videos, I hate this mindset so much. Because, one, nobody should be, you know, pressured to make videos, right? Obviously, it would be cool if more top players make videos, but some people aren't going to want to make videos. Some people don't want to do that. And as much as I like this game and I like seeing gameplay of this game, I think it's a little crazy to be like, oh, people should be making videos. Because that shouldn't be the mentality. It should be, if you want to, you really should. It shouldn't be like, you have to. Because I don't know, man. Most people just play this game for fun. The second thing is that making videos really isn't easy. At least if you're doing it like, you know, an actual YouTuber would. And there's different types of videos, like there's different amounts of effort that you have to put in for different types of videos, right? But I wouldn't say any of them are particularly easy, and they all take effort. And the biggest thing is they all take time. And that's the thing I want to say with this video. It doesn't matter what type of content you're making. It doesn't matter if you're making like a documentary, like movie type video, or a small commentary video kind of like this, or literally just a video where you play a couple X-Rank games and give commentary, right? Or if you literally just upload yourself like a full uncut video of you streaming the game. All of it takes time. that you could be spending doing literally anything else. To emphasize this, I want to go through 2 of my videos and tell you the creative process of making them and how long it took. I'm going to be using 2 different videos for this. I'm going to be first talking about my H3 video, the one with a pretty good thumbnail in my opinion. And then I'll tell you about my Splatoon 1 starter pack video, which is my most popular video on my channel and by far the video that took like the longest amount of time to make. But let's go over the H3 one first, because the H3 one is a pretty standard video. It's basically just 2 games of X-Rank with commentary. There's very minimal editing in it. I didn't put any songs in it. I think I might have put like my gear that I used at the beginning of the video, and that's probably the only real edits I did besides cuts. So how long did that video take me to make? So the actual process of recording the video, you know, getting everything ready, took about like 20 minutes. I think editing the video took me about an hour. Most of it was spent on just like cutting up the video, but a large portion of the video was spent mixing the audio, making sure it sounds somewhat okay. Because my microphone setup isn't the best, so I have to kind of mess with the audio levels for a while before I can get it to the right place. After about an hour of editing it, then I had to upload it to YouTube, render it. Usually when I render a video, the first render isn't the only render, because usually I render the video and then I look through it and then something's wrong with it, so I have to go back, re-render it again, and that usually takes like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, right? And then you gotta upload it to YouTube. Thankfully I have very fast internet speed, so that doesn't take very long. And then I have to make a thumbnail, which usually takes about like 10 to 15 minutes itself. So altogether, that's probably about like 2 to 2.5 hours I spent making that video. And that video is pretty basic, right? Like, there's not really a whole lot going on in that video. It's just a couple games of X-Rank. It could be easy to make the video, you know, I mean, it might not be easy if you have no editing experience. It would probably take you even longer if I had no editing background, right? But really, it just takes time, right? I could have spent 2.5 hours doing literally anything else, right? I could have spent it doing homework. I could have spent it, you know, working a job. I could have spent it just grinding X-Rank, you know, I could have just played the game. If you plan on making videos and stuff, one thing you have to know is that it's a pretty big time investment, especially if you want to grow your channel to even just like a decent sized audience. The hard truth is you're going to have to upload like tens or hundreds of those types of videos if you want to get like monetized, let alone, you know, make enough money for it to really be worth your time, right? So you're going to have to spend so many days making those 2.5 hour videos, or even longer if you're making anything else, right? Like, if you want to make something similar to what Prochara puts out on a weekly basis, right? Probably like 5+ hours if you're scripting and you're getting all the footage yourself and you're doing all the edits yourself. But that's just for a basic video, alright? Let's take a look at my most popular video, alright? The video I put by far the most effort into, my Splatoon 1 2025 starter pack. This video was basically everything I could think of for Splatoon 1, and I slapped it all into one video. I edited it over the course of 3 days because I needed to make the deadline, which was January 1st, which is when I wanted to upload video, because I wanted it to be the first video of the new year. So I could be like, Splatoon 1 in 2025, day 1, right? So I spent like probably the course of like 3 days, like 6 hours each, like gathering clips, putting them all together. I even made a second bonus video for that video on how to get stat.inc working with it. I had to research stuff, you know, I had to research Pretendo and all of the different ways there was to get, you know, the online stuff working. I had to research Splatfests. I did every single main power-up calculation by myself in the training room. I got footage for every single one. In fact, I even asked my friend to get footage for one of the weapons so I could show it in the video, the machine with like full damage up. I said this multiple times. It took me about like 3, maybe 4 days to make that video, and I was pretty much cramming it, right? It probably would have took me a little longer if I was, you know, if I had like 7 days. I probably would have split it up as a more even workload. But no, I was straight cramming that video. And I think it turned out good. I think it was probably one of my best videos I've made. And it still gets a ton of views today. So, I mean, that's another benefit. If you make a really good video, people might be watching it for a long time. But the point is, that's like 3 days I could have spent doing anything else. Like, I didn't play Splatoon over those 3 days. I didn't play Splatoon 3 X-Rank. I mean, I played Splatoon to get clips for the damage up in Splatoon 1, right? But I wasn't playing X-Rank. I wasn't playing scrims. I wasn't playing tourneys. And that's why I can understand why, if you're a competitive player, that making content isn't exactly like something you'd want to do. Because Splatoon itself is already such a difficult game. You have to put so many hours into just getting good at the mechanics, at just general game sense, right? And this is like the hardest game in the series, in my opinion. Like, this is a game where everyone's just fighting all the time. The best players are like some of the best mechanical players in the game. This game is just so ridiculous in how much it asks of you. So if you're a competitive player and you're already spending all this time trying to get good at a game, why would you want to spend all this other time making videos, right? I can kind of understand it. A lot of people act like that's, you know, something that's not understandable, which is ridiculous to me, right? There's so many people, there's people that genuinely hate top players that don't make content because they think they're like not giving back enough to the scene, right? But it's like, dude, the same amount of work I'm trying to put in to get to Div like 3 or Div 2 or whatever, right? Whatever my goals are, these guys are putting in like twice as much work to try and get to whatever their like goal is. Everybody's working super hard to try and get where they want to be in this game. And sometimes like making stuff on the side is just too much, man. Like, even as someone who loves making videos, I've made videos for over 10 years. I have a YouTube channel that's over 10 years old. There are so many times when I was editing a video or making a project that I just wanted to go and play Splatoon or something, or go play Geometry Dash, or go do literally anything else with my time. Like, sometimes I just want to play the game, you know? I don't want to have to do anything else. The easiest type of content you can make as a competitive player is literally just streaming your gameplay and uploading the VOD. It is by far the easiest type of content to make, and this is the most common type of content in Splatoon. A lot of people already stream tournament runs and stream, you know, their gameplay, right? Even this is somewhat hard to do. Listen, if you're streaming on Twitch, then you have to upload your VOD separately to YouTube, which means you have to link that together and then go and upload your VOD after every single stream you do, which doesn't sound too hard. But dude, as someone who's been uploading VODs to a YouTube channel on Twitch for a long time, there's so many VODs that I just forget to upload because, I don't know, I just forget about it. And even then, man, streaming isn't always for everybody, right? Some people don't like being on stream. Obviously, you have to make sure if you're playing in a team environment that your teammates are also okay with being on stream. Some people just straight up play worse when they're streaming. You know, there's tons of people, even top players, that said, I don't know if I could find tweets, but I'm sure someone said, you know, they have stream nerves, you know, when they're streaming tourneys. And that's like a genuine barrier that you'll have to get over if you want to do that kind of stuff. I'd say the next easiest type of video to make is a commentary video, and it kind of depends on how much effort you're putting into the video. This one can range, if you make like a 5-minute video about like the recent patch or reacting to something, these are usually the easiest videos to make of all time. Of course, I'd also say like commentary can go, you know, super in-depth into some of the stuff that, like, I don't know, Chara makes or something, right? And if you're going like further that route, then yeah, that definitely is much harder to do. The next video is the, you know, basic commentary video. I'd say these ones are harder to make than the discussion videos sometimes. Again, if it's a high-end discussion video, probably not. But especially if you're making a super long gameplay video, you're probably going to have to cut it up a ton. The only other thing I guess is worth mentioning up is short-form content. And the problem with short-form content is the short-form content that actually does well, like stuff on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, is things that are specifically designed around that platform. Sure, you can upload clips and maybe eventually one of them might pop off, but most of the short-form content that actually gets traction on there is, you know, your basic, you know, you gotta have subtitles, you know, some quick cuts every now and then, and you have like one specific thing that you're going into, right? And for the most part, that's basically all the types of content you can make. And the main reason I even made this whole thing where I talked about all of them is I just wanted to show that all of these take a substantial amount of time to do. And that's kind of why I hate people that just say it's easy, you know? I feel like a lot of people talk about it as if like it doesn't take any effort at all to make some of these types of videos. And some people even like kind of talk like it's expected, you know? If you have a capture card, you might as well just stream every time you open the game. But sometimes you might not want to stream every time you open the game. Sometimes you might just want to chill off by yourself for a little bit. It definitely doesn't help that there isn't really an incentive to stream or make content on this game. There's only like 2 content creators I can even think of in competitive that I think make a living off of this game, and that's Dude and Chara. And you're gonna have to make a ton of videos before you even get like 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers even, let alone your Dude or Chara levels of subscribers, right? Basically, if you're doing this thing, man, you're doing it for the love of the game. You're not doing it for monetary reasons. And I don't think that's really ever going to change unless this game gets a bigger scene in the West. I say that because in Japan, people stream gameplay basically all the time. And I think it's much more popular over there because, one, they have a larger scene. Two, basically everyone streams on YouTube, so they don't even have to export any VODs. But the main one is that, well, you can't make money off winning tournaments in Japan. So for these top players, this is basically just their livelihood, right? Like, if you want to make money playing Splatoon, you have to make videos, right? You have to become a content creator. But yeah, I think if the Western scene got a little bit larger, if Nintendo maybe marketed the game a little better, maybe there would be a lot more content creators, and hopefully there's a day where that happens. But until then, I really don't like the, it's easy mentality, right? I think it kind of not only is a lie, because especially if you don't have any, editing background at all, it's going to take you a long time before you learn a program like DaVinci Resolve or even just a basic editor. But also it's a little disrespectful to the people that put their time into making these videos and streams, because the reality is there is hundreds of people making content right now that are just rolling their eyes whenever these discussions come up, because it's like, oh, there's no content creators in the scene. Well, I've been streaming for the last 3 years and no one really cares, I guess. There's plenty of Splatoon content creators out there. I mean, people just don't really watch them, to be honest. Because, I mean, hey, everyone knows ProChara and Dude, but no one really knows, the hundreds of other people that are also streaming and uploading videos all the time, right? And that's without even talking about how hard Splatoon is to record in general. I have 11 unlisted videos on this channel that are just me spamming different types of quality, different types of bitrate, different things that I did to try and make the video look good, because nobody tells you how to do any of this, by the way. Splatoon is a notoriously difficult game to record because essentially bitrate, which is basically, I don't know, just kind of the quality of your video. It's kind of difficult to explain. Essentially, the more bitrate you have, the better the video looks, and if it's low, then sometimes when there's a bunch of stuff on the screen, which is basically all the time in Splatoon, it gets very blurry. That's why this game just doesn't really look very good on streams, because the bitrate on Twitch and YouTube streams is just capped really low. So whenever anything's happening on the screen, it just looks like kind of a mess. I spent so many hours trying to replicate my video to look like what it looks like in Dude's videos, right? Because I would look at my video and I'd be like, wow, doesn't really look that good. And I look at SRB2 Dude's video, and it's it looks great. It looks amazing. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I feel like there's almost no documentation on how to do this at all. And I feel like that's just another thing that doesn't get talked about. No one talks about how hard it is to just record the game in a decent quality. It's crazy. Because I don't want to gatekeep anyone, alright? Here's a couple things I figured out. Turn your OBS bitrate super high. You could use constant bitrate and set it to something ridiculously high, or I just use CQ level, go to 17, 18-ish. Then make sure your video gets rendered in 1440p. Either upscale it or just record in 1440p with the 1440p or above capture card. Because if you upload your video to YouTube and anything below 1440p, it will absolutely nuke the bitrate quality. It doesn't matter what you choose. It will absolutely nuke the quality of the video if you upload it in 1080 or below. And then make sure whatever editing software you're using doesn't also kill the quality. Make sure you have, I don't know, if you use DaVinci Resolve, just copy whatever settings I have here. This is what I've been using. I'm sure you could probably min-max it a bit more. But listen, man, I have 12 unlisted videos on my channel. I don't feel like making 15 just to see the minimal differences in quality. But yeah, that's just a thing that probably most big Splatoon YouTubers have done before, a long time ago. But I kind of had to ram my head into the wall and figure it out because no one's really talked about it. Hey, if you're a big Splatoon YouTuber and you got this stuff figured out, you should totally make a tutorial on that. I think that would help so many people out. Anyways, the whole point is, most people that play this game play it competitively. They play it because they saw a tournament or something, they saw world champs, and they saw the people in grand finals, and they wanted to be like them. So most people's goals in competitive are grinding to the top, and unfortunately, content creation doesn't really help you get there. It can help you with a ton of other things, and I think it's definitely something you should try if you're into it. But it's kind of hard, It's not easy, especially if you haven't edited before, and it's going to take a lot of your time either way, no matter what kind of content you're making, right? I think we should support the creators that make videos and encourage people to also make videos. But I don't think anyone should be like, oh, why doesn't this guy make videos? He should just stream his gameplay. I know he has a capture card. Because, I don't know, that just seems a little, it just seems a little hostile to me. It's not a debate that's happening right now, but it's a debate that I know is going to happen at some point. And it's a debate that's definitely happened before. It's kind of died down a little bit because there is a lot more people making videos nowadays, thankfully. If you're a creator, shout out to you. You're the GOAT. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, man, You go shout out your favorite local Splatoon content creator. All right, tell them their work is appreciated because it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. I'll shout out. You know what? I'll shout out a content creator. Shout out fellow Splatoon content creator Wraith SPL. I think Wraith has more subscribers than me on YouTube now, actually. So I would have probably never got back into making short form content, which kind of ended up leading me back into making long form content if I didn't see Wraith stuff show up on my TikTok timeline one time. So shout out to you. Wraith makes good videos. Go check him out. Speaking of videos, that's the end of this one. So, I mean, hey, you might as well go check him out now. I hope this video was somewhat comprehensible. My commentary videos aren't exactly the most structured thing. This was mainly just like something I was talking to myself in the shower about, to be honest, when I made this video. It was, I hope you got something out of it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.